Part of the Conway Medical Center's foundation is the Winter Gala. Find out what it's all about. Coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Reflections Bar at the Marina Inn at Grand Dunes, home of the 8th annual Winter Gala of the Conway Medical Center Foundation, to be held on Saturday, January 26th. We're focused on the gala and we're visiting with the Associate Executive Director of the Conway Medical Center Foundation, Jessica Sasser. Good morning, Jessica. A long title there.
I know it.
And a big foundation, a lot going on. I was at the Conway Medical Center website this morning. There's a page for the foundation.
Yes, there is.
Early this morning, obviously, a page for the foundation, and a lot going on right now.
There is a lot going on. We just updated our portion of the hospital website, and we hope that it's easily navigated. You can get in there easy. You can now donate online.
Is that right?
We're really proud of
I saw that.
putting
That little click
there.
on there. That's right.
Yes, so it lists all of our events, some of our top donors, our top sponsors, and we're real proud of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've got to be. And a lot of sponsors have to wrap around to help put on events like the one a little less than 2 weeks, as well as, of course, your big Kingston Gala, Waste Management and their longtime sponsorship, as well as so many other tremendous sponsors that step up to the plate to really make that event happen.
Yeah, that's right. You know, our largest event is the Kingston Golf Classic. It's been going on now for almost 13 years.
Wow.
And immediately after the Winter Gala, we start preparing for the Kingston Golf Classic, which is in May. It's held on Memorial Day weekend. And that event is now raising over $80,000 for our Health Reach program.
Come on now. That is wonderful, Jessica. Well, of course, the event here in a little less than 2 weeks raised a lot of money as well.
It has. Last year was a banner year for our Winter Gala. We raised a little bit over $68,000 from that event.
Yeah.
We're real proud of that because it's a young event still. It's in its 8th year, and when we started in 2001, we raised about $36,000. So, you know, gradually we'll get up to where the Kingston Golf Classic is.
How exciting, Jessica. Real quick about yourself. Are you originally from the area? You were with us a year ago here on the show when we were filming at Beach First National Bank, and so I know this answer, but some viewers may not. Are you originally from the area?
I am originally from this area. Originally born in Columbia, South Carolina, but I grew up in Conway and was raised there and educated in Horry County schools, and then later went to the College of Charleston. So I'm proud to be from this area, and you know, when you go off to college, you tell yourself, oh, I'm never going to go back to the place where I grew up. I have all these big dreams, but it didn't work out that way, and I'm glad about that. I'm glad to be back here.
You're thrilled. Yeah. So, and you still have family in the area, Jessica?
My whole family lives in this area, and my husband's family. So, a couple of weeks ago at Christmas, we were back and forth and real busy and
back and forth between homes there.
Between homes and families, and it was real busy, but always really fun.
Yeah.
And lots of kids in my family, so we have a big time.
You mean lots of kids, like brothers and sisters, or of your own? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have 2 kids of my own, and then my brothers and sisters all have kids. And it's a circus sometimes.
Yeah. Did anyone leave the area, or did they all ultimately migrate back to Horry?
Well, most of my family still does live in the Conway area. I have a sister that owns the Rivertown Bistro in Conway.
Great. Yeah.
And I have a sister that lives in Raleigh, and also one in the Florence area. So we're not too far away from home.
Yes, Jessica. Well, your sister and brother-in-law took very good care of some folks that bought the event. I mean, the dinner that they put on last year at the gala. Actually, I helped host an event there in their nice private dining room one night, which was wonderful. So please thank her on behalf of all the folks who attended that dinner, and I hope they're throwing that in again this year.
Well, they are. Yeah. They are throwing that in again this year. It's a dinner and wine pairing in their private dining room at the Rivertown Bistro. Darren, who happens to be my brother-in-law, who have to bribe every year to give me something. He's going to do some of his fabulous dinners and appetizers and that sort of thing, and it should be a fun package.
Oh, yeah. Well, the bidding went up. I can't remember who was bidding against me last year, but there are some amazing auction items. That's part of the thrill of getting in today. I think you mentioned before we started filming that y'all are totally sold out.
We are sold out, and we have a waiting list now, and it's a frustrating problem to have, but it's a good problem just because you feel like you want to get everybody in.
Oh, yeah.
But you just can't. You just can't accommodate everybody. The ballroom is only so big, so we're fortunate to have a waiting list.
And part of the thrill about being here, last year, the 7th annual Winter Gala was held here, and of course it was one of the first big events for the Marina Inn here at Grand Dunes. Was well attended. I mean, obviously, again, a sold-out crowd that night, but they were thrilled, and I think it worked mutually well for everybody.
It did. We were the first event with over 300 people.
Right.
They had last year a New Year's event, which I believe was around 150 people.
Right, yeah.
Ours, of course, was a little challenging because it was their first sit-down dinner, and but they did a wonderful job.
Crackerjack, yeah.
I mean, it was just very professional and great staff here at Marina Inn. I can't say enough about them.
And such an amazing facility. It seems to go on and on. As you drive up, it looks relatively small, but when you're in here with all the fashionable, beautiful, rare art spread around through the facility, of course, it's got the AAA 4-diamond ranking, as you know. Later in the week, Axel Surrey, their general manager, will be with us, I think, on Thursday, and the CEO of your medical center, I believe, on Friday, which we're real excited about. We had Burns with us, the executive director of the foundation, just a couple of months ago when we filmed in Conway over at Sassy Girl, which was great. And of course, he highlighted much of what this event coming up on Saturday the 26th, much of those dollars raised will go to. Share with viewers a little bit about why a gala needs to be held.
Well, at the foundation, we host 2 events, again, our golf tournament and our winter gala, and both of those events benefit our Health Reach programs.
Okay.
And that is a broad term for our programs that help the medically underserved of Horry County. A lot of people are familiar with the Health Reach mobile van that goes out into the community because it's so visible. It is staffed by 2 nurses, and they go out to different rural areas of Horry County to do different educational screenings. They do flu shots, they do cholesterol screenings, they do some cancer screenings.
The mammography.
And they go to areas like Fisherman's Headquarters in Conway, Ron's Busy Corner, which is a convenience store in Horry County. They go to these places because a lot of times you'll find that people are afraid to go to the doctor. So the idea behind the mobile van is we're going to go to you.
Right. And
we're going to see if you are at risk, and then we'll refer you to a physician. And it just makes that whole process a little bit, easier for that patient. If they have elevated levels or that sort of thing, then we can sit down with them one-on-one and say to them, you might want to go to a doctor, and this is the doctor we're going to refer you to, and we're going to follow you every step of the way.
Wow,
so it's really one-on-one.
Fantastic. Yes, and you've heard about this anecdotally from folks who may have been afraid to go to a doctor, or directly, either talking to you directly or heard stories about it. Folks that are afraid, and having the 2 folks arrive and essentially welcome them in the van or even come out to them. It's
and it's and a lot of times these patients don't have the means to go to the doctor. They're uninsured, or they just simply don't have the money, and then that too causes a little bit of stress. How are they going to pay for it? Well, I can't pay for it, so I can't go to the doctor. And so these 2 nurses really spend a lot of time with that patient to get them. Yes,
and they'll be with us either tomorrow or Wednesday. I can't remember. We got such a crazy week here, and obviously being here, trying to get ready for y'all's event. We talked about auction items. We've got both you have a break down the evening for viewers, just a little of a sense of what if they don't have a ticket yet, what they need to go ahead and call your office to try to get lined up for next year, to become a sponsor for next year. And real quick, just that, the phone number before we talk about the evening.
The phone number for our office is 347-8058. Of course, anyone can look in the phone book and find Conway Medical Center,
right, sure,
and call the main number, and they can find us very easily.
Sure.
Just ask for the foundation.
347-8058. 347-8058. Okay, let's break down the evening, Jessica,
Okay.
for viewers who may not have attended in the past and obviously now want to attend.
Yeah, the greatest thing about this event, we change the theme every year. So every year it's a little bit different.
Right.
And this year our theme is Hooray for Hollywood.
Yeah.
So it's really going to be a night of glitz and glam and paparazzi and that sort of thing. And the decorations that we're using are great, and it's just going to be a fun evening. And we started out with our silent auction. It starts at 6 o'clock.
Okay, good.
As guests arrive, they register for the auction, and they have about a 2-hour interval, to bid on over 100 items.
Mm-hmm.
So we allow that 2 hours. It seems like a long time, but when you get in and start socializing and having a good time, it goes by really quickly. So we have several different things in our silent auction, and I can't go through all of them, but we have artwork, sweetgrass baskets, jewelry, all sorts of things, and a good variety of things at different price levels.
Right.
Because the audience that attends our gala, we of course have physicians, but we have representatives from different businesses, small business, large business. So we have a good variety for everyone. Then at 8 o'clock, we go into the ballroom, and we have a seated dinner, and we like to surprise our guests when we open the ballroom doors.
No secrets now. Yeah. So you're not going to let something out. Yeah,
that's right. And during that time, we just like for our guests to enjoy the wonderful meal that the chefs here at Marina Inn prepare. It's definitely great and fabulous, the best meal. And then we have a great dessert, which is sponsored by Chancel Builders this year.
Fantastic, yes.
And after dinner's over with, the band starts and everybody starts dancing, and just a good time.
Absolutely. So folks can be here. As you say, you think about that 6 to midnight. It sounds like a long time. Of course, folks can cut out a little early if they're not big dancers. But even a 6 to 10, that sounds like a long event, but it really passes by quickly.
It really does. There's a lot to see, a lot of people to talk to, and it just goes by very quickly.
Yeah.
And before you know it, it's midnight, and then the cleanup starts.
So you're here a little after midnight,
Jessica.
A little bit after. You and Burns shuffling away out
That's
there.
right.
I'm
Well,
sure.
I do want to say to that effect, we have some wonderful volunteers.
A great committee,
that work at the hospital that come out and just work that evening, and they help with the cleanup and and all that. So I have to give them some credit.
And it really is volunteer driven. You've got a committee, and I know you mentioned that right after the Winter Gala, you're focused on the Kingston Golf Classic. At the same time, preparing for next year's Winter Gala, the 9th annual in 2009. Much of that is happening right now as well. Even right now, as we said, since it's a sold-out event, folks need to begin calling to try to get lined up. I don't know if you've made plans back for here, but at the same time, wherever it is, it's a relatively small event, 300 to 350, 400 people. So folks really do need to line up. I don't know if there's been a year it hadn't sold out.
There hasn't been a year, actually. The very first year we sold out, and we wanted to start out small because, we had... there's so many galas. There's so many wonderful events in the Myrtle Beach area. So we wanted to start out small, and we've managed to attract a wonderful group of people, and it's a very intimate evening.
Yeah, it is.